All right, you're watching the Sports Roundup Show. We're doing our NBA segment, NBA free agency special. Mike Nelson and Cody Parks here. Of course, the NBA season is going to be kicking off in a little less than a month. It's Thanksgiving week, but we're of course now basketball yet. But NBA free agency started off last Friday, so let's start off. What a big day for acquisitions around the league.
Mike, and I want to say next week is when teams have to report because training camp opens up December 1st, so that's next Tuesday from today's date. If you guys are watching this today, um, what's today's date, Mike?
Today's Monday,
I be
Monday the 23rd. Yeah.
Mike, when you at home so much,
Yeah,
I
I
be
know.
forgetting what
Feels the
day
same.
it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they got to report December 1st. Uh, and then that Monday, November 30th, though, teams had to start showing up so they can start their COVID testing. So players are going to start probably after Black Friday. You know, some players might want to, get some free deals, even though they're making a lot of money. Mike, they still want to probably get some free deals.
Yeah.
But after starting probably Saturday, Sunday, is when teams are going to start reporting to their teams' sites.
Yep.
So it's pretty much a week away of everything getting started. But as you mentioned, it all got started Friday with free agency. Um, we in LA, we're not gonna talk about the Clippers first. I don't even could talk about the Clippers at all. But since we in LA, instead of talking about the whole NBA, let's start off with the Lakers. I don't know, Mike, because some players we lost, I'm okay with. Some I wasn't. Some players we gained, I'm okay with. Some I'm not. You can start it off though.
Well, I was a little surprised with like I texted you. I was a little surprised with the Montrez Harrell
Yeah.
move. I didn't expect the him to come to the Lakers, right? He played on the Clippers last year, so I was really surprised with that. And I'm really interested to see how he's going to fit in because I just think he kind of plays a different style of game than the Lakers usually play. He's definitely not a 3-point shooter. He doesn't really have much of a jump shot, right? So he needs the ball inside. And the Lakers kind of already have that with Davis and LeBron. So we'll see how he fits in.
And I'm with you. Right when you text me that, I was like, Mike is 100% right. Um, again, because
Nah,
uh,
come on, man. Not
uh,
always. Yeah.
but Mike, they signed him because Anthony Davis doesn't like playing center, right? But to your point, okay, Harold and Anthony Davis are going to play on the floor together. Anthony Davis, he might have to start taking more threes, maybe, or something, be more stretched out because Montrezl Harrell has no 3-point shot, has no mid range. Unless he worked on something these last couple of months during this offseason, this short offseason, I'm not for sure if he'll come back with a shot, but he's gonna want the ball inside. And then LeBron loves to attack also. So you have AD, who I would want inside instead of outside shooting threes. Montrezl Harrell, LeBron, yeah, that's not enough space down there. Um, Maybe they're not going to play AD with Montrez because of the next pickup I can talk about, which will be Marc Gasol. So maybe they're going to have Marc Gasol and Anthony Davis. Now, I like that pickup with Marc Gasol, but I'm with the thinking of we're losing a lot of shot blocking. No Dwight, no JaVale McGee. Marc Gasol, he's a great defensive player. Don't get me wrong. He's a great defensive player, but not as far as shot blocking. You don't see Marc Gasol as a shot blocker or Montrezl Harrell. So I think that we gained some players, but we lost our shot blocking abilities that we had. That was good.
Yeah, of course, definitely with McGee and like you said, Dwight Howard, which was also a surprise uh, that he left the Lakers, right? Because he had said he was going to stay on the team a couple hours before the
Mike,
news
I
came
told
out.
you the rumor. You heard the rumor of what happened, right? I told you. I
No,
texted
I didn't hear the rumor.
you.
I
So
forgot what happened.
um,
Let our listeners or viewers know.
it it was so he tweeted that he was returning to the Lakers, like you said, but Rob Pelinka, the GM of the Lakers, hadn't made that decision yet because he was still trying to figure out if he could sign Montrez Harrell. So and then that wouldn't be enough money to bring back Dwight. So Rob Pelinka and the Lakers told Dwight to delete that tweet because they haven't made up their mind yet.
Oh,
So he deleted the tweet, as you said, he deleted it, and then he went on and signed with the 76ers. So that was crazy that happened. But I wonder, is Dwight going to be a little salty now with everything?
Yeah, I think he might. He's going to a team that's going to be contending this year. Of course, the 76ers. They have Doc Rivers now. But I think he's going to a good situation. But like going back to what you were saying about the Lakers, I think they're going to try to play maybe a little different style of game this year. They're going to be a different team completely. We still don't even know if like Kyle Kuzma will be around for very much longer, because he obviously had a tough year, and the Lakers would like to move him to get something back. And that would also change things as well. It would even make less of a 3-point shooting threat of a team.
Mike, so I don't know if you remember this, but I said this a couple shows ago. I asked you, should the Lakers, well, for championship teams, should you just bring back everybody and then just run it back, or try to get new players and upgrade it? Um, so it looks like Rob Pelinka thinking is get new players and upgrade it. He did say that in a quote. He said that he wanted to not stay stagnant and just run it back. He wanted to upgrade. But let me get your thoughts on this, Mike. I was thinking about this earlier. Do you think Rob Pelinka is making all these deals and whatnot because in a trade for Dennis Schroeder, which I like. I like Dennis Schroeder. Making these deals is because this is going to be the shortest break from the team who won the championship to the start of the next season ever in history. You only have 71 days between the Lakers win the championship and then when the season start. So do you think his thinking was maybe a lot of players are going to be tired from that last team, so just get some new energy for players that was never some players were in the playoffs in the bubble, but some weren't, um, which had like a longer break, so they could be more energized to start off the season and give them a better path to win a championship. I was thinking that maybe he's thinking that way because if they brought back the same team, they would have probably been tired, start off bad, and all that.
Well, I definitely think they're doing this move, um, these all these moves, because I think they definitely had problems throughout the year, right? With getting more scoring outside of Davis and LeBron, right? I mean, they never really found that third guy, and I think they want to hope they're hoping that they can get somebody else, right? Because LeBron's going to take a lot of games off this year, a lot of back to backs. Probably Davis will too. So I think they want to find another third player. So I think they had to make a lot of moves, because I think there was definitely issues with the team last year,
Mike,
that you don't usually get with a championship team.
and they got younger.
Yeah,
Like to your point,
yeah.
Schroeder 27,
Montrezl Harrell.
Rondo's 35. Harold is 26, 27, something like that.
Yeah,
JaVale McGee, 33, 34. Wes Matthews, who they signed, who I'm not too big a fan of. I got to wait till the game starts. He's 34, and Marc Gasol is 37.
yeah.
Marc Gasol 36, 35. So those two are a little older, but you get younger with Schroeder and Harold. So to your point, that is definitely going to help out for this season.
And then Montrezl Harrell, on the Clippers, I remember he used to play almost every game, so he definitely didn't need the days off like other players. So I think the Lakers were really interested in that as well.
Mike, he plays tough. I was telling you that. I'm with you, but the only thing I disagree. Well, I don't know if we disagree, but I know you probably think that he plays tough. But only thing I liked about him joining the team was he's gonna give it to you every night. He might not have no shooting. He may not have no jump shot. But he's gonna come out with energy every night. Might not get no blocks, but he'll get some charging calls. Low post defense is kind of cool. So we'll see how he plays, but he does play hard and tough, though.
Yeah, I mean, some people. I mean, I don't know. Maybe some people in the inside knew that Montrez was going to the Lakers, but I think it got me by surprise. I did not expect that. I thought he was going somewhere else.
Me too. I'm with you.
So now we talk a little bit about. We're almost wrapping up this NBA segment. What other big moves are going to happen? Of course, we know there's been a lot of rumors about James Harden moving to Brooklyn or elsewhere. What do you think? Do you think James Harden is moving before the season starts, or is going to drag out the whole season?
Mike, that's a good question, Mike. Great question, because from everything you hear, he wants out. Him and Westbrook. Speaking of the Rockets, Westbrook, they both want out. But from everything you hear from the organization, the GM, who's a newly hired GM this year for them, because Daryl Morey, their former GM, left to the 76ers. The new GM is saying it's willing to get sources. I'm gonna start needing sources, but they said it's willing to get uncomfortable. So that'll be interesting, because if you have James Harden, Russell Westbrook going into the season, just like that, mad maybe, and everything, then it'll be interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, I think.
Because they might start off slow. Then they'll get mad. So you never know.
Yeah, I think. I think we'll see. I don't think we'll see James Harden be moved this season. I would be really surprised. But I think Westbrook is definitely on the move. I think he has 1 year left on the contract, so the Rockets have to move him. Obviously, they don't want to lose him for nothing at the end of the year. If they can get something in return. And there's a lot of teams out there that really need a point guard, right? We heard of the Clippers packaging a deal for Westbrook, and I think also who else was interested in the East? There was a team in the East.
Wizards. It was a Wizards.
Yeah, the Wizards with John Wall supposedly asking for a trade. And then, the Knicks. That's right. So the Knicks, those are the three teams that have been rumored to go after Westbrook. So I think there'll be definitely a trade in place for Westbrook. We know it didn't. Harden and Westbrook didn't work at all last season, so there's no reason to bring it back.
So I will ask you this then, Mike. Do you think if Westbrook does leave, then the James Harden wants to leave also? Because that's to your question,
Yeah, I think he does, but the problem is I don't think the Rockets are inclined to make that trade this season, right? I mean, they're better off making that trade next summer when things are more normal, and maybe teams will be willing to give up more. I don't think there's a lot of there's not. I mean, if Brooklyn trades for Harden, are they really going to give up much to get him? Think about it. They're going to give up a bunch of rotation bench players,
picks.
And yeah, it's not going to be much. I think they're better off waiting to get the best deal possible, and that probably will come next year.
So that's my point of when the sources said that it's going to get real uncomfortable then throughout the year. So does James Harden play hard, whatnot?
Yeah, it'll be kind of like remember when the year before Anthony Davis went to the Lakers, right? I mean, the whole season we knew he was going to get traded somewhere. They were resting him. It probably will look like that.
They started benching him, remember?
Yep. Yeah, they benched him. Days off, playing 20 minutes a game. It's probably going to look kind of like that, unfortunately, right? Because the Rockets, I think they want to start all over, right? Mike D'Antoni's gone. They want to start from nothing and rebuild. And by trading Harden, that's going to be it of the Harden era, and it's going to be a rough years coming up. But I think it's probably the best move for this team, knowing that things just haven't really worked out with James Harden, right?
I'm with you. And I want to give a shout out to some sleeper teams with this that's been happening with all the
free agency.
With all these moves that's been happening ever since Friday. Look out for the Hawks, Mike. I'm liking.
Oh, the Hawks! Wow.
Hawks. I'm
Rajon
liking
Rondo, huh? And into the Hawks.
Rondo.
Yeah.
Gallinari.
Yep.
They signed.
Bogdanovich.
Yes.
Might be heading there.
Because he's a restricted free agent, so the Kings can match it. But we'll see. So look out for the Hawks. I already like Trae Young, John Collins. So that's a sleeper team to make the playoffs. And also the Charlotte Hornets.
oh man, really?
I'm a Devontae Graham fan. I don't know if you, Mike, you ever seen?
No, I've never seen him play.
Devontae Graham, he was on there last year. A lot of people think that he should have won Most Improved. We got to see what LaMelo does. We got it. He has to get a shot, of course, but he has good playmaking skills. They signed Gordon Hayward. That contract may have been too big, but that's sleeper teams I have.
So you're picking two teams in the East that might be better. The East has been down for quite a bit, so maybe the East will be coming back.
Yes. Any teams for you, Mike? Have you seen deals been happening these last couple
of days?
Well,
I mean, I definitely really want to see Phoenix with Chris Paul. I'm really interested in,
That's nice.
I definitely think in Phoenix in the West. What is it?
They signed Jay Crowder.
Yeah, Jay Crowder as well. So I think that's going to be an interesting team to watch. The Phoenix Suns, and then also in the West, I want to see how the Warriors look. Even though I don't like the Warriors, I still I want to see how they look next year with James Wiseman, and Klay Thompson's out for the year, unfortunately. But it should be. But they picked up what's his name? The guy
Kelly
from Phoenix. What's his name?
Kelly Oubre.
Yeah, Kelly Oubre, right? So they picked him up to replace Klay Thompson. So they're probably going to be competitive. And I just think the West is going to be really fun again to watch. I think they're by far the best conference in the NBA.
Mike, I'm with you. Chris Paul. I've always been a Chris Paul fan. The Warriors get well soon, Klay. I'm a big Klay Thompson fan. But yeah, it's gonna look weird. Andrew Wiggins, Oubre, Steph. I don't want to see that because it was done deal that the Lakers were gonna play the Warriors on Christmas Day, because always the returning champions play probably one of the best teams in the league.
Oh, I thought the Lakers and Warriors were going to play on the first night, on the 22nd.
My bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. First night.
Usually
Christmas
Lakers
Day.
Celtics on Christmas Day. Yeah.
So, but now we'll see. But I'm with you though.
Yeah. And I just want, before we wrap up the NBA, I want to talk a little bit about the format for this coming season. As we know, there's going to be a play-in tournament for the East and West. 7's going to be playing 8 for a playoff spot for the 7th seed. And then 9 and 10 will be playing each other. And the winner of that game will play the loser of the 8th seed to figure out the 8th seed. What do you think? What is your opinion on what do you think of that format? I think it's okay for this year, but I'm not really a big fan of keeping it permanently.
So, question: did you like it for the bubble though?
Well, yeah, for the bubble, I think it's good, but I don't agree with this at all to keep this permanently. I think it really dilutes the regular season, in my opinion.
So they're doing this again because the first half of the season they released the schedule, and that's going to be from December 22nd to March 5th. And with everything going on, they don't know, if they still have to make cancel games or whatnot due to COVID. So they want to give teams, even though the second half of the season, which is going to start around the middle of March, maybe as far as the world health-wise, but it may not be enough time for teams to recuperate games. So they want to give these teams an extra chance. So to answer your question, though, I would like to see it just for 1 year again. Like, I'm not a big fan of this for 1 year, but I like it for this year because of the COVID situation. But I would only want to see for the 8th seed, like how they did it in the bubble. This 7th seed bringing in also, that's kind of not fair in my opinion.
And then even the 10th seed.
Yeah, like they did more than enough. 8th seed, maybe you squeak by, but 7th seed, more than likely you did more than enough to make the playoffs. I'm not a big fan of the 7th seed, but the 8th seed.
What I'm worried about though is that they're going to keep this permanently, because it's obviously a huge. Think of all the money they make from these games. The ratings are going to be really high. Attendance when they get fans back. Tickets will be very expensive to go to these games.
When they get that crowd back, sorry for cutting you off.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
When they get that crowd back, then it's gonna.
Yeah, so it's a huge I think money decision to have that. But think about it. I mean, the NBA has already 16 teams in the playoffs, and you're essentially adding 2 more, so it's 20 out of 30. So, I mean, what's the point of the regular season?
22, because 22 for the East and 2 for the West, right? It's gonna be 22, if I'm correct, right?
No, it would be 10 and 10.
My bad. Yeah. Sorry.
So it'd be 20. Yeah. So it'd be 20 out of 30.
I can't count.
Yeah, it's okay. No, so think about it. I mean, it's going to be. I was really surprised when I saw that news, but I mean, I guess the players signed off on it. And I think I'm not sure. It's not permanent yet, but I don't know how long it's going to be staying on.
Yeah, I'm with you. I wouldn't do it for the rest, but they're doing it. If they do continue to do it, it's for the money. Because those games were exciting in the bubble, but with the 7th, I wouldn't do it. But I see where they're coming from.
All right, so I want to thank everybody for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe to our page, and thanks for watching, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Let me